We want to thank the decorating committee for our beautiful decorations. They are Helen Cook, Elaine Case, Regina Dent, Marcia Rasto, and myself. So I didn't actually help this time, but we want to thank them for the beautiful decorations. At this time, I would like to introduce our Chief of Police, Gary McHone, who's going to do a special program for us. So, thank you, Gary.
Good morning, good afternoon, whichever, close. Yeah, I guess it's noon now. They asked me if I needed a microphone, and I said, well, my mouth is probably big enough, I might not. But can everybody hear me at this point? Yes? Is that better?
Yeah.
Is that better like that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so what we're going to talk about, first and foremost, I've met a good percentage of y'all. Happy to be here. My name is Gary McHone. I'm y'all's Chief of Police. Been here since last summer. Serving in y'all's outstanding community. Been in law enforcement. Actually, this makes my 28th year. Served over the North Texas area for a number of years as an assistant chief of police over there, and held several other positions with a couple different PDs over that way. My family is actually still over in North Texas. My wife and our daughter still live over there. My wife's originally from out here, so we're in the process of still making that transition out this way. And with any luck, my son. He's my favorite son. He's actually my only son, but he's my favorite one as well. We'll be stationed right up the road here at Cannon Air Force Base. Anyway, with all that being said, I'm here to talk to y'all today, just for a few minutes, while y'all enjoy your lunch, about scams and fraud. Anybody ever been scammed?
Tried.
Has anybody? And I know some of y'all, because I've talked to you, and we've gotten calls at our dispatch. How many of y'all have had calls asking for money? That, hey, if you act now, we've got the best deal. Or, we need your credit card information. I'm asking this, don't necessarily want an answer.
My grandson is in jail and needs money.
Your grandson's in jail? Your grandson's in jail and needs money?
That's
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're exactly right. Somebody will give you a story and say, okay, hey, I need money. I've got a family, or you've got a family member, or I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying to do that. Hopefully nobody has given out their credit card over the phone, have they? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. When you get those calls, definitely do not give out any financial information, because sometimes this time of year, tax season, you get this random call, maybe electronic voice recording sometimes. Hey, this is the IRS, warrants being issued. See a hand going up there. A warrant's being issued if you don't pay, etc., etc., etc. That's not the way things are going to work. Don't give somebody your information out over the phone, obviously. It is what it is. Also in storm season, knock on wood, we've not had any major storms here lately. We've had a few pass through the area, but it's getting into storm season, as y'all are abundantly aware. So, when and if that happens, if you have damage to your house, damage to your roof. Okay, so here, these are kind of questions. And this information is from the Texas Department of Insurance I recently received. So kind of the scam. A contractor asks you to sign something before going on your roof to estimate repairs. What do you think you need to do? I would read it carefully, make sure it's not a contract, or you could be held holding a bill without ever seeing an estimate. Because a lot of times that happens. If we get hailstorms in this part of Texas or other parts of Texas, I know North Texas is notorious for that there's a lot of contractors and stuff that'll start going out in the neighborhoods and so forth and saying, okay, hey, can I get up on your roof? I just need you to sign something. Let me look at something for you. And before you know it, you've signed a contract, unbeknownst to you or me or anybody else. And then now, you're left holding that bill. So think about that. Think about those things. All right, here's another one. A contractor asks you to sign a contract with blank sections. It's going to fill in the blank for you. They're going to come back in and fill in whatever the amount is, right? What do you think you should do? Don't do it. Exactly. The contractor can fill in the blank sections later with higher amounts or different work. So don't sign anything particularly ones that have blanks in them. If you do sign a contract, if it is legitimate work, make sure you look at all those things. Sorry, she was telling me I need to hold the microphone closer to my mouth. I know, sorry. I won't start singing or anything either. I'll just keep talking here. All right, the scam. So a contractor asks you to sign a contract that says homeowner agrees to the listed repairs for the value of the insurance proceeds. This means you agree to give the contractor every penny you get from the insurance company. What to do? Never sign a contract with this language. The contractor may not make all the needed repairs. So think about those things. Here's the scam, another one. Contractor offers to waive your deductible. Avoid contractors who tell you this. It could be a sign of fraud or shoddy work. Think about that. Okay, so here's another one. A roofer asks for a large down payment or full payment up front. What do you think you should do? Absolutely not. All right. Never pay in full up front, and be very wary of a contractor who asks for a large down payment. If disaster is declared, it's against the law for contractors from outside your area to ask for payment before they start work. And again, this information is from the Texas Department of Insurance, so it's out there on the internet and so forth. So here's the scam on this one. A contractor uses materials that are defective or lower quality. Okay, make sure your contract lists the type of materials that will be used. Check the work as it progresses and make sure the materials and quality are what you expect. Because obviously, if they're going to use low quality materials, that may be a way for them to save money, right? So you want all that outlined in those contracts and in that paperwork beforehand. That way you know that the work being done in addition to the materials being done is what it should be. All right. Some other things to maybe avoid getting scammed. Get bids in writing. Use local companies when possible. Check references. Most legitimate companies are not going to have a problem with checking or giving you some references. Well, hey, here's 3 people I've done work for. Or, hey, I did work for your neighbors up the street a couple years ago, and so forth, right? And Muleshoe's small enough that word of mouth is going to help a whole lot. So if somebody's here from XYZ company, y'all should be able to ask, you know, hey, who have you done work for? And if they've not done work for anybody, and they're just kind of passing through, and a lot of these red flags that I just read about are kind of popping up, think about those things. All right, let's see what else here. And nobody's done any of these things, right? Has anybody ever had any of this happen? I hope not. All right. Tips on how to select a contractor. We'll kind of go through some of these real quick. Do not feel pressured into signing any documents or contract. If you have any concerns, research the company, and again, ask for references and speak to those references. Get everything in writing, cost, work to be done, time schedule. Do not sign if there are blanks in the contract. Use a Better Business Bureau and search engines and things like that are out there for public consumption on the internet. How many years has the contractor been in business? Maybe a fair enough question. Place of business, local area, or 5 states away. Things you probably want to know. Who is going to be on your roof? Who is the supervisor? Do they have to register with the city or county? Things to maybe think about. You know, if they're going to be out doing work, there's some requirements there. Check up on progress. If they've been there 2 weeks and nothing's being done, that might be a clue, okay? Something's not right here, because the roof is not going to take that long unless there is something really, really bad. Are there members of any type of professional associations that you could reach out to? Warranty. It's a good idea to obtain multiple bids again. Get that information. Who is paying the deductible? Obviously, those are things you would discuss with your insurance company and kind of work through that. Are they willing to work with insurance companies in submitting any supplements? Remember, your contractor cannot also negotiate your claim. It doesn't work that way. Have they asked for upfront money again? Be very leery of that. Be aware of selecting your contractor from a business card that's been hung on your door. If somebody's soliciting, and I'll clarify this, if somebody's going to be in the city soliciting, they are required to register with City Hall. And they are issued a permit, and then we get that information. So that way we know who is supposed to be out in the city and who has gone through that process. So that is another thing we can look at. Can the contractor obtain the permits required? And again, those are things that are easily verified. So, knock on wood, we don't have any storms come through, but it's always possible. It's always possible. So back on the fraud and the scam, and I won't talk much longer, so y'all have an opportunity to take, or I'll ask questions and so forth. That if you do receive phone calls, don't hesitate to call us. Let us know about it. A lot of scams. There's a lot of scams in the news on any daily basis. There's a lot of information that we also share on social media. There's a lot of information out there through the Federal Trade Commission and so forth for y'all to look at, Texas Department of Insurance. But bottom line is, if somebody's calling you and asking for your credit card information, your checking account information, and so forth, don't give them that information over the phone. That's just not a good practice. If for some reason you suspect that you are a victim of identity theft, report that immediately to the police department so we can kind of help work on that and give you the information that you need to kind of stop that as best we can. Does anybody have any questions for me? I know y'all want to continue enjoying your lunch, but I want the opportunity to take some questions here. It's almost 12:15. Anybody got any questions about anything? It doesn't necessarily. Yes, ma'am. Internet. I've heard of it.
Mom got caught up in it, and it was a scam. Because they were going to fix it.
So when the information was taken off the internet, like some financial information and different things like that?
Yes.
That's another good point she brings up. Be mindful of what you put out over the internet. Be mindful of what information is out there. Make sure it is a secure website. Make sure that is a secure app. Does anybody use phones or anything like that for banking? Maybe not. But if you know of anybody that does, make sure that it is a secure app and that information is kept secure. Because just like that, something will happen. That information is compromised. Appreciate you. Any other questions, comments? Yes, ma'am.
We almost got scammed from a guy in Lubbock with our roof. He was charging us $1,500 and he was going to get cheap material. So I let him go.
Yep.
Boy, he called me every name in the book. He did. When I called him and told him, look, I missed your again. He goes, I want to cancel my call. Well, you signed, no.
But right there is exactly what I was talking about.
Everything. So I changed to one in Columbus.
Outstanding. But that was, unfortunately, you recognized that and that didn't cost you. Did you get everything work out with that? Get your money back and
He said
everything
he
on
was
that?
going to take me to court. And I said, okay, that's fine. When I didn't follow his, when he saw that I wasn't scared of it,
Right.
he didn't call me anymore.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. So you knew exactly what I was speaking to. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Yes, ma'am.
Does the police department or the police or anything ever call you and ask you to donate to their funds for people that were hurt?
Well, like Texas State Police or different associations and different things like that. Sometimes, yes, but again, I'm going to speak to this generically and give you kind of the best advice. Me personally, and I'll tell anybody this, be very leery of giving out information over the phone to anybody. Unless somehow, some way you know 100% who you're talking to, whether it's this association, that association, I would not give that financial information out over the phone. Because once you've given it out, you can't take it back. You cannot take that information back. It's out there now for whoever you just talked to. Yeah, like I said, that I think from an abundance of caution, that's what I would recommend each and every day is do not give financial information out. Watch where it's at over the internet. If somebody's showing up at your front door and trying to sell you something that's, sounds too good to be true, generally it probably is. So think about those things, and then if any of those things occur, by all means, notify us, notify the Sheriff's Department, so that way we can at least start an investigation as needed or bring in other agencies to assist in that investigation. Yes, ma'am.
These, where you use your ATM or at the gas pump, and they're scanning your number and using your number. You have probably-
Skimming devices. Be extremely careful what she's talking about. Sometimes at public gas pumps, an ATM machine just sitting out somewhere randomly, you know, maybe on the outside of a bank sometimes where there's not a whole lot of monitoring except for maybe a camera and so forth. Sometimes there's a skimming device that is put in there that can extract your information off of one of those cards that you're putting in there. So kind of check that, check it, see if it's loose, see if maybe something looks out of place. A lot of businesses are starting to put seals over the gas pumps and over the ATM machines to show that it's been checked, it is secure. But not all businesses or ATMs are doing that. Just be mindful of that, and if that happens, cancel that card as quickly as possible. There's not a foolproof solution other than to be mindful of it. Check those areas to see if anything looks loose, or like there's a unique looking device inside those ATM machines or inside the gas reader or what have you. And if you fall victim to that, and it happens. It's happened to me personally at a gas pump, matter of fact. Didn't love it. And you know, there was a charge, I knew what the gas was, but then there was another charge that I knew for 100%. No, there's no way. I was just at the gas pump. My wife and I stopped and I got gas at the gas station. So I called my bank and they canceled. Yes, ma'am.
That happened to me here at Valero. Got the bill, and it was from the Bronx, New York.
Bronx, New York. So from Muleshoe, Texas to Bronx, New York. That's a little bit.
I said, I don't even know where the Bronx, New York is. So they canceled it. I mean, you know, they had to investigate them. They canceled it. Yeah, $1,000 or something.
Yeah. And most financial institutions, most banks, credit cards and companies and so forth, if you contact them pretty quickly, they're very good about stopping that and doing their own internal investigation to recoup those funds for you. All right, folks, if there's no other questions or comments, it's about 12:20, so y'all can finish up, wrap up lunch. I do appreciate your time. Enjoyed talking with you today. Good seeing you. I'll see most of y'all soon, and thank you.